video would never surface. Lo and behold, Harrison Courtney, he found it for us, and we're here today with the 2008 103-pound state champion. Sir, if you would, tell us who you are.
Yes, sir. My name is Jarvis Elam. I'm from Union County, Kentucky. That's where I was born and raised. Didn't start wrestling until my freshman year in high school, but through a lot of trials and tribulations, I was able to win the state title my senior year.
And, of course, if you're watching this, chances are you probably already know about Union County's their 1970s, 1980s run that they had. Now from 2007 to, we're filming this on April 28, 2024, Union County, they're the show. I mean, Union County Wrestling, the Braves and the Bravettes, man, you guys, western part of the state, you guys have it going on. So you talked a little bit about not starting wrestling until you were a freshman. So how do you get into it? Were you just walk in the halls and somebody grabs you and was like, hey, we need a 103, come here, you know what, how's it work?
Well, growing up, I just played a lot of sports. Believe it or not, you know, I've just the size that I am. I played football, baseball, ran track. I even tried basketball. But I played football and baseball with one of my coaches, Coach Tim Irvin's son, Mitch Irvin, who ended up being a two-time state champion wrestler. But anyways, you know, his dad started talking to my dad. And, you know, I guess he was just observing what type of athlete I was. And he put one bug in my dad's ear. And next thing you know, my dad came to me and, you know, asked me if I was interested in trying out wrestling. So I was like, well, sure, you know, might as well give it a try. And, man, I fell in love with it. When I first started wrestling, Aaron Carr was my drill partner at first. So right off the bat, I was, you know, blessed to be able to have an unbelievable drill partner from the get-go, which, like I say, I fell in love with it. And, you know, I took off from there.
Absolutely. And real quick, let's talk about Union County's history. We always like to give it the no matter what video we're doing, what school, we always like to give the history of the school. That way, in case your video brought somebody to the channel, they can be up to speed as of this filming. Union County currently has 15 team state championships. That's number one overall in the state. Starting, we're not going to go through all of them. There's a lot of them to go through. There's 15 exactly. But starting in 1976, you mentioned Tim Irvin. He was on that team. From 1976 through 2024, 15 state championships. So you guys have a dynasty in the 70s and early 80s. And then from 2007 to present, you guys have absolutely just been, insert whatever sports teams, your New England Patriots with Tom Brady, your Yankees, your Alabama football, whatever sport, your American Pharaohs and horse racing, whatever it is, Union County's been top of the game now for daggone 20 years. And in 2008, man, you took your rightful place on the number one podium. But you talked about not starting until you were a freshman. I would have to imagine you probably, did you get like, because Adam Carr was in the finals 05 and 06 against Travis Sullivan. Of course, Adam come up a little bit short both years to Travis, but I would have to say you would probably be behind him, correct?
Well, I was actually, at one point in time, I was actually third string.
Okay.
I had in front of me, and then Aaron Carr was behind him, which was also in front of me. So I had a tough road to go.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, it's tough to, you know, come in and be behind somebody who's been in the finals 2 years in a row. Or I guess what he would have been, a sophomore, junior when you started?
Yes.
Okay. I was going to say, man, that's tough to come in and try to, you know, knock a defending state runner-up out of his varsity spot. But 2007, though, 103 pounds as a junior, fourth place. And you guys win the team state championship for the first time since 1982. So what would that be? 25 years after, of course, Coach Rob Urban was on that team, and there's a lot of great wrestlers. I think James Smith was on that team for Union County. A couple other, Danny, our buddy Danny Lavelle, was on that team. So just a lot of studs, a lot of hammers on that team. So what was it? What was the? Did you realize? Did the coaches realize? Hey, we can do something special here, because for the longest time it had been Woodford County. They had the mid to late 90s, early 2000s. Their latest state championship was 06, and everybody thought they were going to repeat with the team they had coming back. Your Cody Lewis's, your Matt Bird, your Harrison Courtney's. Had 4 or 5 studs there. What was it that was like, man, we can do this year? What was the mentality?
Well, I say it all the time. It's very important, no matter what sport you're doing. It's very important to have a strong leader. And Robert Urban has always been in my corner, man, and has been that strong leader. And it was just a time, man, where we had a great group of hard workers, and we bought into the program. And it all started, man, when he took that group and we all started training and wrestling and going to tournaments in the off season. Mm-hmm. And man, every since that point, man, it's we believed in the system. So we've been doing it for so long, and it's as a coach now, it's I've learned it's very important to train in the off season. Yeah. And we saw what we had during that off season, and we kind of looked forward throughout the year to see what competition that we did have, and looking at the team that we had, that's when we realized we were right there in the running to win that team state championship.
And of course you guys did, and Mitch, of course you guys have. If you haven't watched it, I sound like what was that? The song Black and Yellow. I can't remember the rapper's name that does it. If you don't already know, you should by now. But we have the most outstanding wrestler video on the channel, and I reached out to Mitch's mom. Help me with the name.
Miss Vicky.
Vicky, yes. She sent me Mitch's video from 07, and then like the celebration for like the bus ride home coming into Morgan Field and Sturgis there. So we'll insert a little bit of that. That way the Union County people can see that, and not just Union County, but everybody. I'm sure the Union County will take more joy and glee in it than everybody else.
And KHSAA State Wrestling Champion with 140 points, Union County.
One more, here we go. Good work, man. Good job.
There's Isaac's truck.
What's up, baby? Number one. I get that camera out of my face.
That's like 5 days. I
didn't have a single.
Man, be quiet. Look at all the.
Gosh, there's a bunch of people.
Aunt Robin's always like.
Everybody hung their boy. Oh. Brock.
Who's this? Oh my gosh, Dad. Your dad hasn't put down that video camera yet.
What you want out there?
you win the team title, you're on the podium, but I'm sure that you're probably thinking, all right, next year, I'm a senior. We can do this again. And daggone it, I'm going to be on that number one podium. So you talked about buying into the system, having, Rob and Tim and everybody there in Union County coaching you. Was it just getting into the groove of, I know I'm good at this. I'm going to perfect. I know what I'm good at. I'm not going to try to, a lot of times we see, and especially nowadays, wrestling starting up and a lot of kids are joining. You'll see them first couple years and they'll be hammers at 2 or 3 moves. Then they'll go to camps and they'll try to learn 10,000 moves and they get beat. And you're like, why are you trying this? You know you're good at this. Why did you get away from it? So is that what you kind of done? What was the game plan for getting on top of that number one spot your senior year?
Well, it all started off my sophomore year. So keep in mind, I didn't make the varsity lineup until my junior year. Mm-hmm. But my sophomore year was really my breakout year. The team had took me to a varsity tournament in Caldwell County, while the varsity team went and wrestled in Indiana. And I ended up winning that tournament. I beat a guy by the name of Tommy Warren from Fern Creek, who ended up beating me my junior year for the 3rd and 4th place match. But anyways, I was JV at that time, and I just had a breakout tournament. And I remember the coaches asking me, they said, Jarvis, what do you think about riding up there to the state tournament and just watching? And heck, man, I was just excited to be able to go up there and experience, man. And ever since then, man, watching the finals, and I wish today that kids got to experience the dungeon effect. But man,
100% agree.
That changed my life. Watching those faces on the big screen, and the lights were off, and the spotlight was on, the crowd was going crazy. And when Robert and Coach Walls took me to that, I was like, man, I want to be there. Like I want to experience that. So I actually had dreams about, running out that tunnel and, my face on the big screen and the music playing. So, that in itself was big motivation for me. And, when my junior year came, obviously, I fell short. So knowing that I had one more year to go was a big motivator for me. There was a guy by the name of Myron Bradbury.
Oh,
that had beat me 3 times my junior year. And, he wasn't a very big 103 pounder. So I knew that I had to wrestle and beat him if I wanted to win the title. And, me and him end up meeting in the semifinal.
Hang on before you get to that story, because let's go over your 08 bracket. All right, hang on, just one. Let's get there. So you guys are coming in, the defending team state championship, or the team state champions. You got a pretty good roster coming in. Let's go over your 08 bracket. First round, you're wrestling Connor Johnstone from DuPont Manual. You win that by a fall, 2 minutes and 39 seconds. Second round, you're wrestling Mike Britton from Dixie Heights. You win that by a major decision, 13-3. The quarters, you're wrestling Nick Payton from LaRue County. You win that by a score, 10-5. Now you can talk about Myron, because you meet him in the semis. And, I didn't want to stop you there. I just didn't want it to get too far ahead. So tell us about that Myron match.
Yeah. So, wrestling him 3 times my junior year, and, he beat me every single time. I knew that was going to be a challenge for me through my senior year. So, during that off season, again, it goes back to that off season. That off season, my junior year, I went to the Jeff Jordan camps. I went to a lot of national tournaments and just tried everything I could do in order to best train my, not only physically, but my mentality to be able to see if I could beat Myron. And, looking at that bracket, I knew I was going to have him in the semifinals. And there was something about it, man. I knew if I knew if I could beat Myron in that semifinals match, then I had a pretty good chance of winning the championship. Not taking nothing against, anybody that was on that other side of the bracket, but I just knew the battles that we had the previous years, and I knew what type of wrestler he was.
Yeah.
So I knew if I could overcome that, then there was a real good possibility that I was going to win the state tournament.
And as the movie script would have it, you win over Myron, a decision 5-4.
And that's every single. So we wrestled 6 times overall. I wrestled 3 times my junior year and 3 times my senior year, and every single match either came to overtime or a 1-point match. So it was always close.
And man, it's got to be a good feeling. And of course, we haven't done Myron's review videos yet. Myron goes on to be a 2-time state champion, 2009, 2010. In 2010, he beat some guy named Mark Hall. Maybe you've heard of him. I mean, I hope Mark's wrestling career turned out all right. Mark was a 7th grader in 2010 when Myron beat him. So, Mark, we hope you're doing good with your wrestling career. You beat, as the old saying goes, you cut the head off the dragon. You know what I mean? And not only did you make it to the finals, but you beat somebody that had beat you previously. It's got to be a good feeling knowing going in, okay, we can win the team title and I can be a state champion, get the daily double, as our friends on Jeopardy would say. When you win that semifinals match and knowing you're going into the finals, what do you do in that, 4 or 5 hour time period? You go back to the hotel? Do you rest? What do we do there?
Well, to be honest, immediately after my match, I remember going back with my team and my coaches, and I could just remember the emotions hit me really hard. Just because, like I say, this was something that I literally had dreams of. Yeah. And I knew that, didn't know I was actually going to win the state championship, but I knew for a fact that I was going to run out the tunnel, and, my face is going to be on the big screen, the announcer. So, that in itself was just like a big relief, of my life. And, the way that the dome was set up, where the wrestling dome was set up, heck, it was connected to the hotel. Yep. So I remember, we were able to walk right back to our hotels and take a nap and rest up. And, yep. Whenever, it was that time to get ready and get our minds right and warmed up, we would have coaches come back there and get us. So that in itself was beneficial, not having to sit up in the stands for, 3 or 4 hours. It was a good feeling knowing that, the weight cuts were done. I could kind of rest and just focus on my one last match.
Yep. And if you never got to attend the state tournament at the Dungeon in Frankfort, I don't care what anybody says, there might be nicer venues, not just in the state of Kentucky, in the nation, but there's not a better wrestling venue that's ever been created than the Dungeon. It was a little bit small. The 3 days were a little long for our state tournament, but when it was 2 days, if the design of the building, maybe we could have put down 2 more mats somehow, maybe push a set of bleachers back to get 2 more mats in, that would be the best wrestling venue on the planet. I don't care what anybody says. It was perfect.
Like I said, it literally changed my life. Once they took me to that state tournament my sophomore year and I experienced that, I'm like, holy crap, this is too cool. Like I have to do.
Everybody had their glow sticks and beach balls and toilet paper rolls and all that kind of stuff, throwing them around. It was just it was one of those, you can't describe it no matter how many videos we do. Every video from the Dungeon that we've done so far, I'll bring up just how awesome it was. And the teens coming into the sport or that's only been around for a couple years, they've only known the Horse Park or GRC, you're just like, I can't even, I don't know how to explain it to you. I mean, I
Yeah.
truly don't. You can watch the videos, but until you were there, you saw the lights coming
Yeah.
down, and you just knew it was time. It was showtime. And speaking of showtime, we're going to pull up your match video here. Now, earlier in the video, we said we thought this video had been lost. I had made every effort. When I say every effort, I went so far as to contact the former owner operator of a website called iHive that streamed this. I talked to him personally, and he said that the files for basketball, everything that iHive streamed got lost a few years ago whenever they changed servers. So short of just somebody having the video that was there, that was going to be our only option. And, I think you talked to some people at Union County. They didn't have it. Of course, you're wrestling Austin Palmer from Ryle. Austin believes that his grandmother or his parents or somebody has it, but they haven't been able to find it. And lo and behold, Harrison Courtney, a newly appointed head coach at Woodford County, he has the Woodford Wrestling Archive YouTube channel. He messaged me the other night and said, guess what I found? And, buddy, as soon as I watched it and they introduced the 103s, I messaged Jarvis and was like, hey, you're not going to believe this. So here it is. Has it been a while since you've seen this?
Man, it has been, I would say it has been over, heck, I'd say it's been over 15 years, man. I hadn't watched it. I hadn't watched it since, I was a freshman, sophomore in college.
Yeah. Well, man, the wait is over. Let's go back to the dungeon in Frankfurt. Jarvis, let's go.
At the 103-pound weight class from Ryle, a sophomore with a record of 44-6, ranked number 5 in the state, Austin Palmer. From Union County, a senior with a record of 48-3, ranked number 1 in the state, Jarvis Elam.
Are you coming running out, man?
The state championship from Ryle, Austin Palmer, and from Union County, Jarvis Elam.
I believe you've got Jim Shaw as your referee here. Crowd's into it.
Our man Jarvis Elam from Union County is here to guest on the scoreboard for the red apron, and Austin Palmer under the green apron will be home on the scoreboard.
There it is. Oh. There, nice. There you go. That's 3 now. 3. Rule change come into effect.
No,
Practice.
I was pretty good at that duck under.
Yeah, man, you hit that. That's pretty slick. Now, right there, man, you hit a nice little fly by. You got your takedown, got some near fall, got him on his back. He's able to roll through.
He was a fighter.
Yeah, Austin's pretty good. Out of bounds. Luke. All right, now there is a gap here in the DVD. It's not your phone messing up. Fans watching, I promise. It was just kids, ask your parents what a DVD was. They weren't always reliable. Are you wearing a hairnet here, Jarvis?
I am.
Okay. Up. Nothing yet. He's fighting with that switch. End of the period. So we're starting the second period here. Nice job. Look at that. 3.
There we go.
And there's another skip in the DVD, so it's not your phone messing up, fans, I promise.
You're good. Clear. Yeah. Oh, my.
Stalemate. We're neutral.
Man, this was all like a blur. I just remember bits and pieces of this.
All right, so that's the end of the third, or end of the second, I'm sorry. Start of the third period here. And he throws a leg in on you. Of course,
Yes.
you're up on points, but he throws in a leg, but you're able to get it out there. Man, he's wrestling, you know what I mean? He's not conceding.
Yeah.
You're still down. He's trying to lift. You're not having any of it.
Good.
Well, up. Caution on the bottom. There it is. There it is. Up. You got that reversal. You got a head and arm, man. You got to finish it. Does he finish right here? Does he finish? Does he finish it? There it is. Pin. And that's where, man, that's where this one ends. You win that by a fall. 5 minutes, 7 seconds. Now, earlier you said it was a blur. You know, if you haven't watched it in a long time and as much wrestling as you've seen over the years, wrestling in college and coaching and everything, but does it kind of, the scoring and the takedowns, does it play out the way you remember it?
It does. And believe it or not, it didn't show in the film, and I can't remember exactly what period it was, but we did some type of little roll out of bounds, and my knee had shifted.
Uh-oh.
And I ended up tearing my meniscus in that match. And that's when Coach Tim, the coaches, had brought that knee pad on, and I can remember I could barely stand up or get in my stance. So that it was difficult for me, but thankfully, I did that little Granby roll and he followed me, and I saw his head and arm, and heck, I reached back and grabbed it and locked it up, and I squeezed from there on.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever I saw you, of course, I never watched it until 3 days ago, I guess it's been as of this filming. Whenever I seen you, I knew you won by fall. I just didn't know how. And I seen it, and I was like, oh, he can't. No, he's got to finish it right here. He's got to finish it. And sure enough, you got the fall, man.
And as you mentioned earlier, earlier in this film, how, some guys would perfect, a few moves, and then they try to go to camps and learn all these kind of moves. Man, I had 3 good moves. I had a good double leg. I had a good duck under, and I had four moves. I had an inside trip, and I had a pancake. So those are really four moves that I really perfected on my feet, and I just used those, and they helped me win the state title.
And man, excellent performance there. Union County has 78 individual state champions, 77 boys, and this was her first year for the girls. Of course, Tanya Bacon, her review videos on, so 77 boys, one girl, and that number is only going to grow. You account, of course, for one of those 78, and the Union County most outstanding wrestlers. 1982, Rob Irvin tied with Robbie Clarkston. 2000, some guy named George King. I still don't know how George won it that year. He was pretty weak, George, I'm kidding with you. Don't come through the screen and grab me. Mitch Irvin in 07, Caleb Irvin in 2011. Be looking for 5 videos from this gentleman coming up pretty soon. Brock Irvin. We've talked to Brock. We're going to be doing his review videos. And then you talked about the twins. Jordan Rainey won most outstanding this year. And, they're short of something, an injury, God forbid, or something. There ain't nobody touching the Rainey twins. Nobody's touching Jordan and Jaden, 2 of the best wrestlers to ever come through the state of Kentucky now. But by the time they graduate, seniors, they will be the best. And you earlier off camera, you said this morning, I guess it was, that you watched them wrestle. So kind of catch us up to speed on their off season. Talk about off season work. Ain't nobody put in off season work like those 2 guys. So this morning you got to watch a little bit of them. Tell us about their Jordan and Jaden's efforts this morning.
Yeah. Well, not like I say, not taking. I don't want to take any of their work ethic out of the equation, because man, they're 2 of the hardest workers that I've personally seen. I mean, waking up, at 5 a.m, getting their workouts in, having to go to school for 7 to 8 hours, coming back and having to wrestle, and then having to do things, after our practice. So, man, if I'm not mistaken, with them being twins, they're similar in size, obviously, and they knew that one of them had to make a decision to cut to a different weight class. If in order for both of them to qualify and go to the Worlds, which they both did in Greco, mm-hmm. And JJ was just it was a tough weight cut for him, and he couldn't manage to get down to the other weight in freestyle. But thankfully they were on the opposite sides, which they ended up meeting in the finals. And Jordan ended up winning both matches. First match, I think it was 8-5, if I'm not mistaken. And then the second match was 16-7, I believe, or 16-9, something like that. But man, they like I say, it's incredible. And it's definitely a team and community effort. One person I do want to give a big shout out to is Coach Brooks Black. Since he's came to our program, not only has he brought our program to a whole different level when it comes to freestyle and Greco, but I think that he's helped the state and in general with the freestyle and Greco. So we are blessed to have a person like him to be part of our program.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, kind of refresh my memory. The summer of 23, Jordan was a world champion. He went, was it Turkey? Am I correct about that?
Yes, Istanbul, Turkey.
Istanbul, Turkey. And then Jaden, he won both Greco and freestyle at Fargo, correct?
Yes, sir. You are correct.
And both of them, on a world team, being Greco. I mean, what do you say? What can you say about what they've done so far? You know what I mean?
It's funny because, with them being twins, that they're always trying to compete. So, obviously, when Jordan was a 7th grader, they were still close in weight, but only one of them could have being the 106. So,
Yeah.
Jordan ended up winning the Kentucky State tournament as a 7th grader.
Yeah.
So he did that and kind of, showed JJ. Well, JJ said, well, I'm going to go to Fargo and I'm going to win it twice. Well, JJ does that. Well, then Jordan says, well, you know what? I'm going to go to the Worlds and I'm going to try to win a world title. And then Jordan does that. And then now, they're both able to represent. So it's pretty fun to have caliber athletes like that in your program.
Oh yeah, my goodness. I mean, what was it? They Flow Wrestling done a little video on their social media, the Rainey Twins. They wrestled 10 matches in under 11 minutes this year at the state tournament. I mean, that's doing something, you know what I mean? Wrestling 10 matches in 11 minutes. I think, of course, they were all falls, and I think all but just a couple went outside the first period or first minute, I believe.
Yeah.
So you're doing something, you know what I mean? Now Jarvis, man, you guys have as Union. I say you guys, Union County. You have the team record state championship, the individual records for state champions. You have currently the only 5-timer. You have rest in peace to the family of Bryce Shaver, 4-timer out there. Jordan is a 4-timer currently. Jaden's a 3-timer. We go on with the names, but for there's a lot of new programs in the state of Kentucky starting up. You've been around for a long time. You wrestled in college at Campbellsville. Kind of speak to the new wrestlers, the new coaches coming into the sport about maybe not how Union County does everything, but kind of give some tips, some pointers on getting a program up and going. That way they can say, okay, this is, we don't necessarily want to be Union County, but Union County's got it going on. So let's take what we've learned from them and incorporate it to what we're doing. Maybe we didn't know to add this in. Maybe we're doing not enough or too much of this. So kind of give us a little, or them, I should say, a little bit of the Union County wisdom.
Well, right off the bat, man, it's very important. If you don't have a feeder program, it's right off the bat, it's going to be tough to have a strong high school program. So it's very important to have that strong elementary and that middle school feeder program where, because nowadays it's very rare for, someone in my position to come out as a freshman and, be able to win a state title. Kids are just starting at an early age, more of an early age than they were years back. So it's very important to have a feeder program. It's also very important to have a strong community, man. We couldn't get to where we are today if we didn't have that support. We've had a really good superintendent over the years that's been a really good supporter of our program, a very good athletic director, and just a strong community. So, that's that in itself is really what's been pushing us to get to that level. And one of my favorite sayings, I said it earlier in this interview. One thing that I love telling everyone, that it doesn't matter what sport that you're in. During the season, you're practicing, whether it's football, wrestling, basketball, whatever the situation may be. During your season, you're practicing, but it's the ones that do that off-season training that's going to separate the good from the best. Yep. So, it's I couldn't stress out enough how important it is to be able to train, and not only train in the off-season. We try to compete as well. We try to get at least 15 to 20 matches in the off season. And, that in itself is huge, if you want to get to that next level.
And man, that's some great wisdom right there. A feeder program, off season work, get into it early. I mean, that's some quality information that everybody can take and run with, man. Start implementing whatever works best for you at your school, your program, however you got it set up. But just, take it from somebody that knows, man. They've been there. They can say they're the top dogs right now. So Jarvis, man, we've covered a lot of ground. We've talked a lot of things, but we always like to give everybody the opportunity, if we've not brought something up, to go ahead and let you have the floor. So if there's anything you'd like to say or add or take away, or say just how weak George King is, just go ahead.
I know George really well. He's actually a good friend of mine. But man, Alex, I just want to say thank you, man, for everything that you do. I know for a fact that it's a lot of work that entails these videos that you do, man. It's exciting for people like me who hasn't watched their state championship video in 10 or 15 years. So man, it's good to have someone in the state, someone like you who really loves the sport of wrestling and that really admires it and wants to grow the sport here in Kentucky. So man, I've been waiting to do this video, and I just want to say thank you, man, for everything that you all do, or that you do for this state. And I appreciate it. I love watching the other videos and interviews that you do. It's just I've never seen nothing like it, man. So it's hats off to you for taking the initiative to do that, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. If I was wearing a hat, I would, I'd tip it to you right now. But man, it's been a labor of love. It really has. I think your video number 308, 309 right now that we've done so far, and it's just been it's been so much fun to create the community, and kind of finding the videos, man, is like Christmas morning, or like whenever you lose a tooth fairy comes, leave you $1, somebody message you, you're like, oh my God, I found this year, I send it to me, mail it, send it to me on Google Drive, get it to me, I got to watch it. And then once I get it and I make sure it's good and we got what they think it is, I'll start reaching out to people, and we'll start doing, setting up videos. So it's fun that Kentucky wrestling, man, is so now easily accessible, easily to view. We don't have to just hear about stories. We don't just have to hear people third, fourth, fifth hand telling about the time that, that guy from Union County almost, got beat in the 103 finals in 2008. He was on his back. Oh, wait, that wasn't even close. What happened? We got the video now. All these little things that we've heard about for so long, we can now bring out, and we can let the rest of the world see, hey, man, we got some good wrestling in Kentucky. We're tired of being bottom of the totem pole. We decided to create our own totem pole. And we just love that the state as a whole has embraced what we've done. It's not just Union County and Johnson County can't be further apart. You know what I mean? I guess we could be if you were maybe in Fulton County, but I've been to Union County for a trip that I done. We can't be farther apart in the state, but the Union County crowd, the Christian County, all the Northern Kentucky, Southern Kentucky, Eastern, Louisville, Lexington, everybody's on board with what we're doing. And we just want to keep the train rolling, man. We just want to keep gaining momentum, adding videos, adding review videos like yourself. And we've been talking, it seems like, since we started the series to get it. We just didn't have the video. And I was like, man, we can't do it without the video, man. It's not going to be special without the video. And you talking about going and watching, running out and all that. I'm glad that this video had the face off. That way you can see it, and the match, and that way of course we know all your wrestlers that you coached and currently on the team, they're going to watch it and be like, Coach, I could beat you. Come on. I could be is that the best you could do with a sprawl? Coach, I could shoot on you. I could shoot you into the bleachers. But man, thank you for doing this, Jarvis. Man, I really appreciate it. It's been a long time coming. Thank you to Harrison Courtney for finding the video. It was really cool that he was able to find it, send it to me. And I think it's on his YouTube channel, the whole 2008 finals. There was some great wrestling in. You had Travis Sullivan and Corey Spencer, our buddy Anthony Bailey, Harrison. We go on and on with the names that year, but just a lot of great wrestling there. I think Mitch was there in 08, a couple
Mhm.
other people. So it's it's just a labor of love, man, doing this. It really is. And I'm glad to be the face, the voice, the personality of Kentucky wrestling, because they ain't no stopping us. You know what I mean? They
That's right.
ain't no stopping us. We going to the top. We taking over. So Jarvis, man, I believe we reached a good ending point. Thank you all for watching. We will see you guys and girls on the mats.
Thank you, Alex.